Hi guys, welcome to After Hours. My name is Risa.
And I'm Shelby.
And we're getting attacked by a plant.
It's fine.
So today we're doing an episode on something very near and dear to my heart. Since October is Dysautonomia Awareness Month. And we'll put it in text for you right here so you can see how that's spelled if you feel like Googling. So basically, since we're celebrating Dysautonomia Awareness Month, one of the very most common forms that you see talked about a lot, especially lately on TikTok, everybody's got POTS, because, you know, COVID has a lot of post-COVID POTS connectivity. People seem to be developing it after COVID, which is crazy, which tells you too that this is something that can definitely affect you for many of reasons. So
A multitude, if you will.
a multitude. So I guess let's start off with what exactly am I talking about when I say dysautonomia?
What is dysautonomia?
What is dysautonomia? Dysautonomia is basically a misconnection between your brain and any part of the autonomic nervous system. So basically, there are a lot of dysautonomias out there, and they can affect you in a variety of ways. Anything from involuntary muscle movements to like struggles with breathing, like sleep apnea can be kind of considered it, because it's a disconnect between the brain and the lungs. Yeah. So POTS in specific, which is the dysautonomia that I myself am affected with, it is called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, long story short, my brain and my heart don't communicate right. There's a lag. It's like when you're gaming and there's a little bit of a video game lag.
She buffers.
I buffer, okay?
I've seen it.
It's actually quite entertaining when you see it in person because you're not quite sure if I'm
On this side.
faking
Probably
it.
not on that side.
At this point, I'm really used to it.
Yeah,
So, I
that's
mean,
fair. We laugh.
it is
we
what
do
it
laugh
is.
about it.
Hey, if you don't laugh, you cry. So that's about at the point I'm at. So basically, POTS means that the big symptom is that basically my brain and my heart don't communicate effectively.
Right.
Which means that when I stand up, I lose blood pressure to my brain.
I've seen that happen.
Because my body doesn't quite recoup fast enough by pulling blood out of my limbs. So basically, my heart doesn't pump hard enough right when I stand up. And then it takes a minute, and then it catches up, and it'll pump a little too hard sometimes. And then I get a head rush, everything goes dark, and I go down. I know.
Yeah.
We'll tell you my story in a minute, but that's the basics of what POTS can do. POTS in general affects. Let me pull up this statistic for you. I want to kind of give some real in-depth information here because
to educate on this topic.
It's popping up a bit here and there on socials, and I'm seeing more stuff about it. But it's also one of those things that's still very unknown to a lot of people. Unless you know somebody that's affected by it, you probably don't know what it is.
Yeah. But
it's relatively common. So it is basically characterized by an excessively fast heart rate and symptoms of lightheadedness upon standing. So fun fact, my resting heart rate sits in the 90s.
Resting. Fun.
Unless I am fully recumbent, laying down, and then it will drop into the 40s and 50s.
That seems
excessive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I know. She's dramatic.
She's dramatic.
So basically, I have that abnormally fast heart rate. When I'm standing, walking heart rate is like 120, 115, somewhere in there. That's normal. When I'm exercising, it raises to 150, 160, 170. I tend to avoid that if I can.
Yeah.
It's not good for me. It definitely, I feel it. I get really hot. My face will flush. I'll feel the lightheadedness and almost like I can't breathe, like somebody's sitting on me. Oof. And it feels very crushing. Yeah. But it's also one of those things, like, I don't run for that reason.
I don't think I've ever seen you.
I love running. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love to run. That's my preferred method of exercise.
And you can't run.
Not right now.
You shouldn't run.
Not right now.
Not right now.
I'm in a flare-up, so right now I need to be taking it easier.
That's fair. At least you know.
Once I get
when
it under
to-
control, yeah, I can do more of my stuff.
There you go.
It's all about management with POTS. There is no cure.
Yeah.
So managing it really is the only way that you can do. The average life expectancy for someone with POTS is relatively normal. It's not one that's going to kill you super early. It just makes life kind of miserable.
Just a little bit more inconvenient.
Yeah,
To say the
yeah.
least.
It's not super fun. They do say though, so I'm pulling my statistics and stuff directly from the Dysautonomia International Awareness, Advocacy, and Advancement page. So this is like an international study. All of the best scientists in the world come in here, and this is where they contribute for dysautonomia in specific. So the current criteria is a heart increase rate of 30 beats per minute or more, or over 120 beats per minute within the first 10 minutes of standing.
First 10 seconds.
For me, 10 seconds usually, yeah. I'll know within 30 seconds if I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only usually know. It's often diagnosed with the tilt table test, which I don't know if you've seen those. They're kind of cool. Basically, they strap you to one of the zero grav chair type style. And they flip you upside down and see if you pass out.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And then flip you back right side up and see if you pass out. It's really cool.
Oh, goodness.
So basically, that's kind of the normal how they test it. There are quite a few other tests that they can do, but those are the kind of common ways to look at it.
I mean, it makes sense. It's forced, you know, it's
it's a forced
taking your
positional
body
change.
from
Yeah. One of the other more like easy ways to do it that they'll do if they don't have one of those tables to do a tilt table test is they'll have you lay down for a little while and they check your heart rate, and then you sit up and then you stand up, and then basically they check those at intervals and see where you are, and if you fall within guideline. Yeah,
that's fair.
So a lot of the symptoms that people notice, and just because I want to be able to explain that my story is also not everybody's story. My symptoms are not everybody's symptoms. I don't expect anybody else to have the exact same symptoms as me, because symptoms for this can vary so much. But I also don't want people who have this to feel like it is a death sentence, because like I know it can make your life miserable. I understand that quality of life care and quality of life is comparable to that of a kidney failure patient. I understand that. I understand that some people have to have PICC lines put in to keep them constantly hydrated by fluid bags. And they have to give themselves IV fluids multiple times a day. Like there are people who have it way, way worse than me.
So there's different levels of severity.
There definitely are. It varies from person to person, but you can experience everything from lightheadedness, syncope episodes, headaches, heart palpitations, exercise intolerance, nausea, diminished concentration, tremulousness, which is shaking, syncope, which is fainting, coldness or pain in the extremities, chest pain, and shortness of breath. Often patients develop reddish or purple colors in the legs upon standing, believed to be caused by blood pooling and poor circulation.
Dang.
And this color change subsides when you go into a reclined position. Yeah, it's kind of one of the fun ones.
Fun.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting time.
Interesting time,
you know. So basically, it has become more common since COVID. POTS was estimated to impact 1 to 3 million Americans from COVID. So that's how many people who have literally, like, they doubled the population of POTS patients. Wow. It literally doubled.
That's
made
wild.
It twice as common.
I don't like that.
So POTS affects an estimated 1 million to 3 million Americans.
I'm sorry, what?
1 million to 3 million Americans.
1 million to 3 million, and nobody knows about it, or like why it really.
Do you know how many good doctors we have in the U.S. for POTS? In the U.S.
Don't give me that number. So what is the ratio? Like if we're talking like public school ratio is 1 to 30 students or 1 to 60 students.
So
what is the doctor
if we're gonna
ratio?
go on the low side, we have 1 million patients to 150 POTS specialists.
No! How?
In the U.S., and most of them are on the East Coast. There are very few out this way.
I'm so angry. How many plastic surgeons
think about
are
this.
there? Just real quick.
Hold on. It has doubled in 3 years. Because
doctors?
of COVID.
Because
no,
of, or,
the number of POTS
okay,
patients we have.
That's fair. But has the research, has the, like...
They're researching post-COVID POTS.
Which is a little different.
Which helps. I mean, here's the thing.
At least there's more, like, eyes on it, I guess.
Yeah, any eyes are good eyes.
And maybe we've got people that aren't doctors yet that are in the works.
That's,
you know, hopefully.
It definitely has inspired a generation.
That's good.
That is for sure.
Okay, so we don't have, like, proof
I don't
or
think we're totally
statistics
screwed
yet. I don't think
no.
so.
So the hard
Especially
part is...
when we're doing stuff like this and bringing awareness, you know, and education and...
Exactly.
Yeah.
The hard part is that the way it sits right now with POTS, there are so many things that can cause it. So freaking many. And depending on which thing you have, that is the leading reason why the POTS occurs. That's what bases your treatment.
Oh my goodness.
So
really quick question.
Yeah.
Is POTS kind of almost one of those blanket diagnoses? Like,
no.
I know we're not talking as medical professionals or anything like that. Like we're just people.
From my understanding, I don't believe so.
Okay, because I know like fibromyalgia.
Yeah, fibro
to be
is already
blanket
kind of being
bullshit
discounted as a blanket statement for a lot of other things.
Because I feel like they just put a name tag on that when they're like, we don't really know what the fuck to do with you. You've got fibromyalgia, and I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
helpful. So like I'm learning more and more now. Like, so a lot of people that thought they had fibromyalgia actually have some kind of hypermobility disorder.
Dude, what if I have POTS?
I don't think you do.
I don't think
quite
so.
honestly.
No, I don't have the same issues.
You would know it.
I legitimately have inflammation issues.
You have inflammation issues, and it kind of almost sounds like lupus to me, to be totally honest.
Oh.
So
Google
it sounds
lupus.
autoimmune rather than anything like this. So let me explain my story really quick, and I'm gonna be really brutally honest in this video. And I know that I have friends and family who watch this, and I don't think I've ever been this brutally honest about this.
I didn't even know. We've been friends for a minute, and I don't even think I've known the full extent until the last few months.
I'm in a flare-up right now. I have learned that I've kind of got to really freaking own the fact that I very poorly maintained my POTS for a lot of years, and that is coming back to bite me. And I think the only way that I can raise some awareness for people who like to push through it and say, I'm fine, and ignore the problem, because they shouldn't be broken at, you know, whatever age you are, 21, 24, 25. Me, at every single one of those ages, I ignored my body's warnings because I shouldn't have been broken at that age. And I think I really just need to be able to be honest about it, because if we're not honest about it, I don't think people will take it seriously enough to where people can get research done and we can advocate for these patients, because we are not taken seriously.
No.
Not one freaking bit.
No.
Traditionally, statistically, POTS patients are usually anywhere from 70 to 80% women. We're discounted as hysteric. We're told it's anxiety.
That is so...
That is such a common thing. I got lucky. My diagnosis went really relatively smooth. But that is because I passed out and I broke my grandma's Christmas tree and almost sent it through a window. So my diagnosis with that full-blown syncope episode, plus the fact that my heart rate was so high, and then all this other crap.
They dialed it in pretty quick.
My family doc was like, oh yeah, I think you got POTS. Yeah. And then basically I just kind of discounted it and never did anything to maintain. For a lot of years, I just was like, I just pass out. You know, that's just a thing I do.
That doesn't happen to you. That's still normal.
It's weird. I just deal with it. It wasn't anything that I ever like actively tried to prevent.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun for me. I had quite a few really severe injuries too. I had one where I fell in the shower and smacked my head on the faucet.
Shit.
When I first moved into my house in Hurricane. That was right after I was married to my first husband. But yeah, I fell and smacked my head, and I remember when I came to, I was really pissed off about it because I was like, dang it, I knew it was coming on. And you'll notice a lot of my recent encounters where I've lost consciousness are related to bathtubs or showers. That is a trigger. The hot water is a trigger, flat out. I'll insert the video here that I took the other week of me getting out of the bathtub and how literally standing up out of the hot water, my heart rate skyrocketed. I was just recording a video of my watch. I use a really nifty little app. This is how I maintain now. I use a nifty app called TachyMon, and it basically shows me my heart rate right now, and then what my average heart rate has been over the last 5 minutes, and then what the change is. So basically, on top of that too, it alerts me when I go out of range. If my heart rate drops or spikes by 30, it is vibrating at my wrist telling me, hey, you're in a danger zone.
Yeah.
You're in a danger zone.
There's been moments where you've literally been like, okay,
I need to sit down.
I'm having a moment, and I just turn around and you're just like,
yeah.
And I have to come over.
No, like so basically what it feels like, and to try and explain this, because this is one of the questions I get asked a lot when people are wanting to learn about this. What does it feel like as you start to go to blackout? And anybody who has passed out probably knows what it feels like. And I don't know if it feels the same for everybody. For me, though, I stand up and the first thing that goes is my sense of hearing. Everything sounds underwater and muffled.
Oof.
And then slowly, black comes creeping from the outside edge. And I mean like slowly as in over 30 seconds.
So like you know it's coming, but it's like time slows down probably.
Time slows down. It feels like it goes slower too because I try and like fight it. And it's hard to explain how you can like fight it, but like sometimes I will, at the same time that I'm losing vision, my body starts to lose control and I tense up and I'll grip anything that I'm near or holding, trying to hold myself up and prop myself up. I'll try and find some footage at some point for this month to post of that because I did manage to actually recreate what it looks like through my eyes as I am passing out. And I would love to like be able to show that and simulate it, but then also have on the back end afterwards show you guys what I look like from outside my body. Like maybe if I can catch one of the video.
I'll try to catch one maybe.
Well, and I'm like, even if I can maybe get one off of the security cams.
Yeah.
Because I had a really good one at work the other night. And I was holding on to the register, and I remember thinking, if I go down right now, I'm going to pull this piece of equipment off the counter. And I was really trying to avoid that. And I mean, I managed to, which is good. I haven't had a full-blown syncope in 3 months right now, which is good. That's not bad for a flare. When it's really bad, I'm having at least one syncope episode a day. I'm passing out once a day.
Now, are you passing out, or are you getting to the point
No,
of like
full pass out. Technical difficulties. The camera got overheated, so we switched to the cell phone. Anyways, so I was gonna kind of describe the differences between pre-syncope and syncope. So there is a slight difference. Basically, pre-syncope means that I experience a lot of the same symptoms and I start to pass out, but I'm able to come back out of it before I fully go unconscious. So before I lose full motor loss.
That's normally the state I catch you in.
Yeah.
Is the pre-syncope.
So you usually get to see me in a pre-syncope, and I have pre-syncopes probably
A couple times a day.
Oh, I'd say a handful times a day.
A couple times a day, easy.
I'd say easily anytime I'm sitting down for an extended period of time and stand up. The first thing out of bed in the morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's go back to sleep.
Literally. And you're
Literally.
How long do you go down?
So when I have full syncope, I honestly don't know.
Oh.
I have never been timed.
See if you can catch yourself.
I really want to, as screwed up as it is, if I'm going to pass out anywhere, I would love to do it here because I have cameras and I can time myself off of the cameras down to the half second.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of nice. To me, it feels like a long time. I have audible thoughts going in my head as I'm unconscious and I can't see or control my body. But it's like weird too because you're almost like half aware of stuff as you come out of it. So like you can start to hear stuff before you can see stuff.
I hate that for you.
It's a little nerve-wracking. I haven't done that in a minute.
Okay, but that's like full on.
That's full syncope. When I'm pre-syncope, usually I start to get my sight back, and it goes in reverse of how it affected me.
Yeah.
So like if I start to lose sense of motor control, then sight, then it's sight, then sense of motor control comes back. And it sucks because sometimes I've tried to vocalize that I'm starting pre-syncope before, and I cannot get myself to say I'm starting to pass out.
So
It is so weird.
just-
Yes, I can't talk as well. And like sometimes like I'll catch myself being able to automatically reply to questions to myself when I'm in that moment, but I cannot get my brain and my mouth to connect enough to say, hey, I'm passing out. Yeah.
So you're just trapped in silence.
Or like, dude, okay, I won't even lie. So I've done it to you while you were over here helping a customer, and I stood up too fast,
Yeah.
and you asked me a question, and I answered the question without missing a fucking beat.
In your head.
No, out loud.
Out loud.
I audibly answered it to you, but I could not say, oh my God, I'm starting to pass out.
Oh my God. And I'm just like doing
You were
transaction.
totally in your transaction, yeah. So like I've had that happen to me.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. That's like being underwater and just being like,
You can't help, yeah. Like not being able to scream, yeah.
I hate
dude.
that for you.
It's kind of freaky, but I won't lie too. It's kind of fun. I have
What did you just say?
so I personally challenged myself. Every time that I have a syncope episode, I try and improve how fast I come out of it. So I'm testing out new procedures and ways to help myself re-regulate so that I don't have nearly as many syncope episodes.
Yeah.
I don't mind having pre-syncope, but I hate syncope personally.
That's fair though, dude.
It's miserable. I've had quite a few where I've come out of it and I feel so just disoriented for like days almost, it feels like sometimes. One of my worst ones, dude, I literally woke up and I think I was having a seizure in it, being totally honest. I never actually went to the doctor for this one.
Risa, don't.
Hey, I'm being brutally honest here.
I won't shame you.
I will pledge that this time next year, when we do this Dysautonomia special next October, I will have seen a doctor at some point, and I will have somewhat gotten this a little more under control.
I'm so proud of you. We're
Not-
posting this.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna hold myself to it. So, this is me taking accountability for my health.
Dude, this is a big deal. Excellent work.
But yeah, by this time next year, I will have hopefully gotten a little more of a handle on this.
Yeah.
That's my goal. But yeah, no, like I've gotten that was fun. I woke up and I was bouncing my head off the back of the bathtub.
Oh my gosh.
I had started to feel it come on as I stood up out of the bathtub, and so I sat myself actually down against the back of the
So
bathtub.
you kind of can prep for it.
Yeah, so there are a couple things you can do to try and avoid
You were
syncope.
telling me that you found a little trick.
I found a cool new trick, and we'll go into that in a second. The most common ones are preventative care. Make sure you're intaking enough electrolytes, make sure that you're intaking enough water, blood volume matters, and hydration plays a big key in your blood volume. So with me, my POTS is likely from some form of hypermobility that I have. I know I'm hypermobile. We'll do this to show an example.
Da-da-da-da.
This is my party trick. Fully gripped hands. Oh, what was it that I learned I could do the other day? Brenda taught me.
Yep, that's the freaking one. She was doing that for a minute.
My sister taught me that one.
Do
But
that.
yeah.
Can you just real quick one more time and we'll maybe slow-mo it? Just,
So you take your hands, cross,
wait.
link your fingers. Okay, actually I think I've got it right. There we go. All right, link your fingers, cross your arms, bring it in, fold it over. Oh, and then you bring it over your head.
Bring what around your
So
head?
cross, fold, bring your elbows over each other.
Oh, yep, that's where you come in. And then through the... You're right. I don't have POTS.
No, that's hypermobility, my dude. This is not related to the pot specifically.
That was way more challenging. I had to puzzle piece that shit together.
This is more of a hypermobility one.
Also, like a really decent stretch. Ooh.
Yeah, it feels good. Like I've got my shoulder thing. So yeah, I've got like super hypermobile shoulders.
I can't do that. That's not.
And like my elbows don't do it as much anymore, but they used to go past 180. My wrists, pinkies dislocate at will. This is
like, I've got one thumb I can do cool stuff to. Look, if you
this
poke
one's
it.
easier.
That's it.
So basically this part isn't related to the POTS, it's what causes the POTS for me.
Yeah, okay.
So basically my body isn't producing collagen properly, which makes me have too much stretch in a lot of things, and that includes my skin. I don't know if you guys can do this. Just, usually you can't get down here and pull up a bunch. That tends to be a stretchy skin thing.
What about your hand? What is your hand?
Oh, my hand?
Oh,
You want to get? Like, dude, I can get solid stretch. Yeah. You stretchy skin, stretchy joints, but also that means that my blood veins are a little bit stretchy too. So that's where my POTS comes from.
Yeah.
My blood veins don't constrict naturally the right amount because it's not got the proper collagen. Yeah. So like as I move, they don't quite contract properly and keep blood volume good. So one of the things that really helps me is having a higher than average blood volume, which means I stay overly hydrated, stay making sure that I have enough electrolytes. I'm taking a salt supplement.
I was about to say.
I take a salt supplement, that helps. And then I've learned a lot of tricks that help me avoid syncope from becoming full-blown syncope. One of which is just flat out sit the fuck down. Just flat out.
Top tip.
Just sit down. You just sit down. It doesn't matter where you are, just sit down.
Just sit.
And if you can, honestly, put your feet above your head. Force blood to your brain.
Okay.
You'll come out of it fast.
That's a good tip.
No, literally, that's a recovery position is what it's called.
Yeah.
You've seen me do it before on the couch.
I have.
I'll come over here, just lay down on the couch and pop my feet up over here off of the window sills and stuff. And that it helps get blood back to my brain, which helps keep everything functioning a little bit better. And then I don't lose consciousness.
Yeah.
Which is always good if I can
Always
avoid
a
it.
bonus, you know.
Yeah, it's always a bonus.
Yeah.
It's always a bonus. You know? We like when we don't pass out.
Yeah.
Take that as a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. I'm sorry, friend.
It's okay.
So.
I mean, the worst stuff for me is like, I feel like the stuff that bugs me the most, at least,
Yeah.
isn't the syncope and stuff. That stuff's manageable in comparison. It's like, I get heart palpitations a lot. And that stresses me out because then I'm like anxious already because I have anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder. And so I instantly panic and think I'm having a heart attack, and then that makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah, and then you Google it, and then that's worse.
I take an EKG on my watch.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No, but like,
You do well though, dude.
I feel like I handle it very well.
You do.
But I also know that I definitely don't have it managed as well as I would like. I'm gonna get there though.
Yeah, you also just made like a really big statement this evening that you're gonna have that taken care of.
I will. And that's the thing. We all gotta give ourselves a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
I, for a very long time, tried to pretend that I wasn't some broken human.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, things are just not wired right. I am broken. My body doesn't like me. I struggle to do the activities I love to do every freaking day. But I still try and make myself do it. I don't want to let this hold me back at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to let it define me either. I think though we can advocate for other POTS patients out there to understand that they're not alone. Dude, there are so many of us out there. There's a huge community. Everybody's got different tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And we're all really willing to help out when we experience somebody else going through the same kind of like chaos.
Yeah.
Because we understand how it feels, dude. I think it's also important to note that when you have a chronic illness, some days you look great, other days you look like death.
Yep. Or you feel great and then feel like death.
Yeah, dude, it can be invisible. Your definition of a disability does not always match what occurs. And I think it's very important to voice that because, quite honestly, I've had a lot of comments over the last couple of years about me looking like I wasn't feeling well, or looking like I was sick. And that was accurate. I was sick, but it's not a sick that I can fix and make go away. I just kind of have to suffer through it sometimes. And I've had some really bad syncope days here in the shop where I've gone really close, or I have had a syncope episode. And it definitely is one of those things that I wish I would talk more to customers about and be honest about when I'm experiencing it. But I also don't like when people worry too much, because it's one of those things that I'm like, this is part of normal. It has been since I was 14. I've had this for more than half of my life.
And also, if you're someone who lives with like chronic pain, chronic illness, like it just becomes part of
it's part of you. Yeah, you don't,
and you deal, and you don't really talk about it because it's just something you've dealt with. And you're tired of answering questions, or like not necessarily having the answers, because stuff these days is so hard to actually diagnose.
Yeah, and then there's too the feeling that like this is what really holds me back a lot of the time too. I have so many people that don't believe that I am genuinely sick.
Yeah.
And
well, I think people like stigmatize you because you're young.
I'm young. I look relatively healthy when I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And I'm very active for somebody with my condition.
Yeah.
Like,
she hikes.
I do not let this
kayaks.
hold me back.
No, dude. If anything, she's just like.
Yeah.
No,
But
for real though. But like, I do want to note something. Like, we do get a lot of like, there's a bad like from the older generations.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys are so young.
You're so young. You can't be this sick.
And I'm just
Bro,
like,
I have
dude.
arthritis.
Well, I mean, can I just get a little conspiracy theory for a second? Like, we have different nutrition in our food.
Oh yeah,
We
our
have
food today is so
different-
completely different than
We
it
don't have
was.
the same food that you did. You got actual food. Mine's all processed.
Mine has
I have
been processed
biologically
and
engineered
genetically
food product
engineered.
in my graham crackers, dude. Go look at your ingredients tab. See if you can recognize half of the shit that's on there, and then tell me why our generation is feeling a little bit woozy. It's different. It's just different. We live in a different world, and
our bodies are not adapted for this.
No, dude, we're the same people. We have had to evolve, but part of that evolving is just like masking and being sick.
It's learning how to experience pain beyond what a normal human should tolerate on a daily occurrence.
And then, not to get super spicy, but as a woman, you definitely get
told it's anxiety a lot.
you get pushed, you get turned away a little bit just because.
I got so lucky with my diagnosis. I know other women who have had to fight for years to get theirs. I got so lucky, and I'm probably gonna have to go back and get re-diagnosed because I do not have the doctor's info anymore because he retired like 5 years ago. So I'm gonna have to probably go through the re-diagnosing process, which sucks. But I mean, if it's what it takes, it's what it takes.
And that's what it takes. I'm just glad that there's more research going into
Yeah.
like women and
Oh,
women's health,
dude.
and because it is different. We just run differently, and I don't think that wasn't something that was prioritized for a long time.
It's never been.
It has never been prioritized in American health, especially, I think.
Guys, my mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
My mom was
everything.
in post-op ICU, PACU, all the different fun departments where you really have to kind of know your shit. And she would be the very first person to tell you that the medical industry tends to discount women so fast. And that woman has had so many surgeries. Like, I know I'm genetically screwed up because of her. Okay, like, let's be legit. Okay, do you want me to name some of them? Because this is where it gets fun. Mom had an ileostomy at 34. She had a full set of dentures at 30. She had a hysterectomy at 28. Full hysterectomy. She had a cervical fusion of the C6 and C7, and a cage installed when she was 28. They go in the front of your neck for that surgery. That one's crazy. She had this big scar here. And like, people would be like staring at her neck, and I'm like, It's not that weird. I've seen a scar that matches on a couple of our customers, and dude, I'm like, instantly, I know exactly what they had done.
Yeah.
I'm like, that surgery is rough, though.
That's a rough one.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
But, like, medically, women are discounted so easily, and POTS in and of itself is such a new thing, too. It was only really acknowledged in the 80s. That's
right.
when the first, like, diagnoses started coming out. So, like, it's one of those that it's also very easy to be able to discount to, because unless you catch an actual episode,
It's hard to prove.
it's hard to catch.
You can't just make it happen.
They're literally, the tilt table test is forcing it to happen. That's what that test is for.
Yeah.
It's to force the proper situation for if this
force
were
the
to happen.
environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have POTS, but I have some issues with inflammation in my rib cage, sternum, all that fun stuff, and have been through just doctors, doctors
You
and
just get the
specialists.
runaround.
And yes, we are discounted, but it's also just women are not studied. When science is done,
It's done on
it's
men.
generally done for men, on men, around men. Even like stuff in our world is all designed around men's hand sizes. Like we live in a man's world, and I don't say that as like a.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what it is, and it's. I'm just glad that studies are going into women's health, because
It's
that is
important.
we're just wired differently. We are wired.
Hormones
differently.
affect people too.
Our entire systems are built differently.
Yeah.
Like we have two different rhythms. Like
It's a thing.
we're just a little different, and
Yeah. I mean, so back to the chronic pain thing, because I remember where I was going with that.
thank you.
Yeah. So chronic pain, like I'm one of those people, I've dealt with that my entire life. The hypermobility induces that. Basically, my joints are constantly going beyond the range of expectations and where they should be, which means that they're more likely to dislocate. I experience frequent subluxations, which is basically a step below a dislocation. Your joint pops halfway out and then pops back. I experience that daily, and depending on the day, depends on what the body part. My fingers are one of my least favorite to have it happen to, because I will literally pop every single knuckle back into place.
Yeah.
And it's rough. You can hear it, and
You sure will.
You can tell it irritates her.
Not irritates. It's just like
Just
I feel.
gross.
It's not like
Dude,
it.
it's
It just I feel so like
yeah.
Like, it's just like
cringe
Rice
a little.
Krispies, like
You
snap,
cringe
crackle,
a
pop,
little.
bit, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, you poor, like, oh, I'm so sorry.
So like it causes that, which then causes arthritis,
Yeah,
which means
dude.
you're dealing with chronic pain from the time you're
Oh
a kid,
my
pretty much.
gosh.
And I did gymnastics, so that definitely did not help keep my joints into place. I definitely banked on the fact that I was flexible for my gymnastics
With your
career.
hypermobility.
Yeah, with my hypermobility.
Yeah.
But like, I
Which
don't know.
do you think that led to speeding it up and like?
I've wondered that a lot, but
Yeah.
also like one of the best things you can do for hypermobility is strengthening the
Which
muscles
is why
around
you-
joints.
Like what? That's why you crochet. That's why you.
So I
knit,
force
you
myself to
save.
do stuff with my hands that it
Yes.
requires, even though it really sucks and my hands hurt all the time.
Yeah.
It is one of the only things that'll help keep my fingers from doing that is if I strengthen them.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because I like so stupid. This is so stupid, but one of my biggest challenges right now is popping ice out of an ice tray.
Oh.
And it's a silicone bottom ice tray.
Yeah, those are hard.
I can't
though.
get my fingers to push enough strength to pop the ice.
Well, it doesn't help that you've got claws.
Well, no, and like even when I don't have my claws,
Yeah.
dude, I can't. My fingers start to
It just
dislocate at this
doesn't-
knuckle.
Oh.
They start to dislocate here,
Yeah.
and then I just can't because it hurts too bad. It hurts too bad. But like I really try to not let that stop me from doing the things I want to do, because if I did, I'd be freaking miserable.
Yeah. No, you have a really good outlook.
I feel like I have to,
You do,
but
you really
like
do.
it definitely makes it a lot harder. It makes me think back because like growing up with chronic pain, you definitely end up with a pain tolerance that is well past a normal person's, right? I know you can agree to this. So what is your normal? Okay, so you know how people do a pain scale, 1 to 10?
Yeah. Those
Medical
are always
professionals,
fun.
right? When you go into the ER, what do you tell them?
Oh gosh, for when I'm like in like big attack. I don't know. If I'm like, I have to be like not breathing passed out to be at a 10. Like normally in like peak attack, I'm like 7.
Okay, so out of curiosity, do you have your
6 or
appendix?
7. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had to have like emergency surgery for anything?
Not really.
No? Okay. So, fun fact, my pain level, if I were to use a normal person's scale, sits at a 7 out of 10 every day. For me, that's like a normal, for me is like a 3. I consider a normal person's 7 a 3 for me. And I've just adapted to that. I've learned this though because I had to have my appendix removed. And when I went in, they asked what my pain was, and I said a 4. My appendix almost burst. So if that tells you guys kind of where I sit, I can tolerate extreme pain very well.
Yeah.
Very well. What it does though is it makes me like brain foggy. I forget where I'm going with thoughts. I can't talk very well. I'm very grumpy. I'm a bitch. Like I'll be flat out. I'm a bitch.
You're not too bad. Dude.
When I'm really bad, dude, like I am. I'm mean. I'm mean. I can be really freaking mean when I'm hurting, dude.
Yeah.
Like to the point. And granted, like it's my safe people that tend to get that.
Yeah.
Like my family.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Sorry.
It's true though.
Like,
It's true though. My mom gets the worst of it, man. I'll call her and be like, I hurt.
yeah. Oh, dude.
Just be a
I used
bitch
to
for
call my
no
mom
reason.
all the time.
Oh, I'm such
To
a
just
bitch
be
for
like,
saying that.
no, it's such a good memory though. Like I call my mom and I'd be like, Mom, this hurts so bad.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I remember showing up to her house one night to have her pop my shoulder back into place.
You can do that by yourself at this point.
Now I do. Now I know how.
Yeah, it's weird.
I could, so like when I subluxate my shoulder, it'll get caught in a weird angle out. So it's not quite popping right back into place, right? I have full range of motion, but it hurts really bad. I learned how to pop my shoulder slightly back out and then back in correctly from a physical therapist.
I didn't really know the situation the first time she ever did this.
It's
And
kind
she
of
just like casually was like, chong chong, chong chong chong. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah. I'm just popping my shoulder out and in again.
Yeah, I'm like, you can just
It's like Tuesday, dude. What do you mean?
just pull with the right amount of
No,
strength at the
it was
right
not.
angle. And
Now it's normal. It's no
Now
big
it's
deal
normal.
now. But like we didn't always know each other at this. Yeah,
have you ever seen me pop my elbows?
it's freaking weird.
Let's see if I can get it too. Dang it. Not on that side. I could use it though. All right, let's see. Not quite.
Of course. On
Dang
video,
it.
It's not gonna
Never
do it.
gonna do it on video.
We'll get it one day and you're just gonna be like,
Oh, I almost got that one. Ah, there we go.
Heyo.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, so she's got some stuff.
I pop.
But dude,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so proud of you for talking about it and for
Like I'll get one of my morning stretches one of these days where you can hear literally every vertebrae go.
that's impressive.
It's so gross. It's
so gross.
I love it. It's so gross.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I guess thank you guys for listening to me ramble a little bit about what this
dude.
is like.
Thank you for rambling. That was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big thing, guys. For any other POTS patients out there that may just need to hear that they're not alone, you're not
Yeah.
alone.
You're
I
not.
feel you.
And if you're out there just with
I
chronic
see you.
pain on a level that
Yeah,
relates.
same, dude. I see you.
Yeah.
You got this. Keep fighting. Don't let it hold you back.
It
Because the more we fight through it, the better off we are. And I really firmly, wholeheartedly believe that when the brain gives up, the rest of the body follows. So if you sit here and you think I can't do that because of XYZ, dude, you're not going to be able to. And I understand that, like, sometimes there are real physical disabilities that do cause that. Like, I'm not saying to some
No.
wheelchair person to go out and walk a mountain. Don't do that. That's,
Don't do that.
you know your limits. But I am saying that just because it hurts doesn't mean that you can't do it. As somebody who has hurt most of her life from just joint pain and dislocations and syncope issues and dealing with all of it, you can still do the hard things. And they are so much more worth it when you achieve them.
But some of it is acknowledging that it is an issue.
Yeah.
Getting help, accepting that help,
Accepting
and moving
help.
forward.
I really thought I had it under control for a long time there. I won't lie. I did for about 2 years. I have it really solid.
Yeah.
I had it to a point where I hadn't had a syncope episode for 2 years. I hadn't had a single pre-syncope episode for at least 6 months.
Wow.
And
You'll
that
get
whole
it back.
time. I'll get there eventually.
You'll get it back.
But
No doubt.
for now, I'll just take 3 months no syncope.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. As long as it doesn't keep getting bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep monitoring.
Yep. Keep my watch on.
Keep silently screaming from the darkness.
Keep silently. I'll see if someday I can break the verbal barrier. Like,
Yeah.
that's my goal.
Yeah.
I really do physically try so hard in my brain. I'm trying to figure out what it's going to take to get me to be able to break through.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the limits are.
Yeah. Also,
If I'm forced to experience this, I might as well have fun with it.
Exactly. Make it a freaking game.
Kind of, yeah.
A little
What's
bit.
my best score?
We're going for high score today.
Go for the high score!
Goodness. It like pairs well with ADHD.
It does.
It does.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say? We gotta laugh so we don't cry.
Yeah, we gotta laugh so we don't cry. Sorry, guys. This quality of life thing.
Sorry.
If you look at it that way, it's a way better ride. Okay?
Honestly.
Just really, like, I feel better about it. And I live it, you know? So, yeah. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. If you ever feel so inclined, please donate to one of the POTS charities out there. There are quite a few. Best way to go about it is Googling the National POTS Foundation. They've got a really cool website that has a lot of information, or the International Dysautonomia Foundation.
We'll try to link some.
We'll try and link some in the description for you. That way you guys can see it, but that's just where you can go check out more information. If you feel like you want to donate to a study, freaking go for it.
Yeah.
I would highly encourage it because we could always use more research on this stuff.
Absolutely.
And fun fact too, because I did touch on the fact that 80% are women, 70 to 80% of patients are women.
Yeah.
Fun fact, my brother has POTS and is genetically thing too. So in my family, we have 2 people, 1 male, 1 female.
Yeah, you guys are like genetically.
Yeah, we're genetically linked, but also at the same time, like, it is not unheard of for men. So if you're a dude who's experiencing symptoms
It's
similar
also
to that,
a thing.
well worth getting your heart checked, bro. Well worth talking to your doctor. See if you can get a tilt table check done, because it's worth it to know. It helps. And for anybody who wants to use TachyMon, POTS patients out there that may not know about that app for the Apple Watch, I think it does Samsung Watch as well and all that fun stuff. I'll link the app's app store thing in the comments or in the description as well.
Yeah.
But it's a helpful tool. You can change your settings on it.
Nothing
And
is
it
sponsored
records it.
either. We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored by
These are
any
just
of
things
these.
that she uses. In
This is
regular
just
life.
stuff that's genuinely helpful for me as a POTS patient. I do pay for the TachyMon, but I do like a year subscription. It's only $30, and it records all of your heart instances.
That's fantastic.
Enough detail to take to a doctor and in printable PDF form.
I like the alerts.
Yeah, I love the alerts. It vibrates at me when I go out of range, and it's
Yeah.
super helpful.
Honestly, I've just learned to like listen for you like a toddler. Like if you get too quiet,
If I get too
I
quiet,
have to check on you. Normally she's standing somewhere going like this. I'm okay.
is that a pretty accurate look?
That's actually pretty solid. Just like
It's just a blank stare, dude. It's literally like it's a long distance gaze. Like,
and I'll rush over and not really rush, but just like calmly
hey, you good?
be the support just in case, you know. You okay? Normally you'll come back and be right there and be like, I'm good.
I'm extremely grateful that I have had syncope though, because I've recognized the look on other people's faces.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful for when people get like heat stroke. I can tell when they're about to pass out.
They're
Like,
about to pass
you need to sit down,
Somebody
sir.
hold them.
You need to sit down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing to deal with, and it's an interesting way to live. And quite honestly, I think hopefully in the next 10 years we'll know a lot more
I think so.
and have more effective ways of treating it. Currently, the only medication routes they're going is like a whole skew of meds, and you have to take them all because they cascade other problems elsewhere if you don't take the other ones, like beta blockers and all sorts of other shit.
Don't get me started. I'm glad that there is a solution out there for people that want to go that
I'm
route.
attempting the holistic route of extra hydration.
I wonder which route I mean.
The holistic route of extra hydration
Yeah.
and salt, salt, potassium.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. So I'm doing that route right now. We'll see if that's enough.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Game plan, dude.
Cool. Game plan.
Good job. I'm super proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed to get this shit out here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
All
still
right.
not gonna not be a bitch to you.
That's valid.
Cool.
I still won't be a bit, not bitch.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this educational video about POTS. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from other POTS patients as well. Let's talk about what works for you, what doesn't.
Be sure to like, subscribe.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and do all of the things.
Do the things.
Do the things, and yeah.
Have a good day.
Be safe out there. Bye.